No one would have believed in the last years of the 19th century that human affairs were being watched from the timeless worlds of space. Few men even considered the possibility of life on other planets. No, you're not listening to War of the Worlds with Richard Burton. It's me, Gareth Davies. It's Fight Night Extra podcast. I'm here with the one and only former champion Spencer Oliver. We're here to build up to Richard Riakporhe challenging Chris Billam-Smith for the World Cruiserweight crown at Selhurst Park. I told you earlier, first fight there for 70 years. Len Harvey, the former light heavyweight champion of the world, 49-52, fought there as well. How brilliant to return to a football stadium. And John Wishusen tells me for Boxer they're really selling like hotcakes, the tickets. 28,000 are going to be in there.
Yeah, pre-sale is flying at the moment, like you say, and it should be. There should be a real appetite for this fight. If you go by the last fight, you know, back in 2019, both guys have gone on to achieve so much since then. But you go back to 2019, it went right down to the wire. Richard Riakporhe nicked that fight then. He won it, but it was in an
controversial knockdown.
Yeah,
was it a knockdown or not?
Absolutely, and it was an absolute barnstormer. We all wanted to see it again. We fast forward 5 years. Richard Riakporhe's had 7 fights unbeaten, and Chris Billam-Smith,
most of them knockouts.
Absolutely, Chris Billam-Smith's had 10 fights unbeaten, picked up the world title along
Shown
the way.
Great minerals.
And the rematch,
well.
yeah, absolutely. And the rematch should always have been for a world title on the line. Selhurst Park, you know, Richard Riakporhe has always wanted to box there, grown up, going to the football there and all that. That's going to give him extra motivation. But listen, Gareth, this is a fight that we all wanted to see. He's going to be absolutely packed there. And we could see there, actually, in the press conference, they're already niggling at each other.
Oh, no,
you know?
they don't like each other.
No, they definitely don't.
As Riakporhe said, it's a competitive rivalry. But every time Riakporhe says something, it niggles Billam-Smith. You can see that he's got that dartboard pinned on the wall. He's throwing those darts at Riakporhe every day. He's throwing those shots out. They do not like each other. The key with these guys, they've both progressed, like you say, 2019. Out of the way, please. 5 years ago, they were different types of fighters. We're not only hovering behind us, we got guests coming in here. 5 years ago, they were different fighters. They are both world level now. That's
absolutely
clear. And I make Riakporhe a marginal favourite because he's got that equalising punch power.
I'm with you. You know, I think that what Chris Billam-Smith done, and he done so well, was after that defeat, he went back, and sometimes that can be a making of a fighter. And I think that he proved there it was the making of him, because he went back to the drawing board, worked harder, and he went on to achieve what he achieved, British, Commonwealth, European, winning that world title against Lawrence Okoli in the Vitality Stadium was really the crowning of what he's achieved so far. And this now, going back into it's a fight, by the way, that he's always wanted the return. He's always wanted to box Riakporhe again. It's not something that he's been forced into. It's a fight that he has wanted, and he's doing it on away soil this time, so credit to him for that.
We'll get Billam-Smith and Riakporhe in with us shortly, but first, Arenyeka coming between us, sir. The man, you'll remember him, he was a bit porkier last time we saw him. He was calling out Ben Whittaker. Ben Whittaker's on the card, of course. You kind of took the press conference by storm. You've been calling him out anyway. You believe you've got his number. You don't believe in the Showboat King. You got in phenomenal shape by the look of it. You're ready for June the 15th.
I'm ready for June 15th. You know, I'm here to put on a show. I'm here to stop the hype train of Ben Whittaker. You know, so for me, it's a blessing indeed. And now I'm here. I had to do what I had to do, crash the press conference, grab the attention of the British boxing world, and which I did. And I'm grateful to Boxer for accepting this fight quite quickly, and also we're fighting for a WBA gold light heavyweight title, which makes me top 15 in the world. So for me, it's like I've won the lottery right here.
I tell you what you are, you're testament to believing in yourself and making noise. A press conference is a press conference for a reason.
Yes.
You made noise, and people should learn off that, in my view.
Yes, people should. When you want something and you believe in yourself, you should go for it. You know, don't care what the naysayers are saying. Don't care what people say. Just go for it. Believe in yourself, and trust me, we're here today, we're gone tomorrow. So you gotta go for your dreams and achieve it, and which I'm doing right now. Right now, I'm living my dream, and it's a blessing indeed.
Yep, you gate crashed that Fabio Wardley Fraser Clark press conference, and you did really steal the show when it was there. You know, you made a lot of noise.
Who's
and that
this
goes
guy?
to prove-
Everyone was
yeah,
saying, and then we
where's
knew
he
who
come
you
from?
were.
You go 12-0. Who's this guy? Where's he come from? The African King. That's what we're
10
hearing.
knockouts.
And you go, you're calling for the fight. You're calling for the fight. Ben Whittaker says, you know what? I like this kid. I want to give him the opportunity.
Yeah, man.
And it's about opportunity in it and
is.
what you do with it.
Yeah, exactly, it is. And fair enough, although I'm fighting him, I'm also grateful to him for accepting the challenge. He could have easily swayed me and said, okay, let me fight someone else. So it shows that he's a gladiator. He has a fighting out in there, and it's going to be a spectacular night that day on June 15th in Seattle Park, and I can't wait.
You've got 10 knockouts and your 12 victories,
Yeah,
I think
man.
it is. That's right.
Yeah.
So we know what you're going to do. You're going to go after him. You're not going to watch his smoke and mirrors, no?
And I ain't doing none of that. I'm coming to knock him out. You know, that's what it's about. And you don't get paid for overtime, and the fans pay their hard-earned money to see knockouts, and that's what Ezra Renka, the African King, is coming to deliver.
You know, that sort of like answers my next question. I was going to say, how do you win? But you're now saying you're going to knock him out. But you know he's a bag of tricks as well, this guy. You know that he's got it in the bag. So how do you beat him? Like, it's not going to be as straightforward as going out there and just knocking him out. You've got to have a bit of boxing IQ behind that as well.
Yeah, exactly. He's a skillful fighter. I'm not going to try and match him from skill for skill. But don't worry, there's a great game plan, and I'm going to execute that plan perfectly, and I'm going to knock him out. And it's simple as I've got power. You know, I know he doesn't like the smoke. I know he doesn't like being in deep waters. I'm going to drown him. So that's what I'm going to do on June 15th. It's going to be remarkable. It's going to be amazing. The whole world is going to be surprised and going to be shocked by me. I'm going to shock the world on June 15th.
I mean, thank you very much. We look forward to seeing you on the night. Like you say, Leon Willings did something which was ignore the smoke and mirrors coming out from Ben Whittaker and gave him a real test
Yeah, man.
and has shown what he is. This is a massive opportunity for you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Leon really exposed him, so I'm here to capitalize on it. And so, yeah, so I'm grateful. And June 15th is going to be an amazing night of boxing.
Thank you, Ezra. Great to see you. We'll see you on the 15th
Ezra,
in the build-up.
good luck.
Well, we've got one of the rising stars of the sport. Her father never wanted her to box. Her brother kept her down and at bay for a while, but he couldn't keep her down. She's one of the superstars emerging, one of my favourites. She's got star qualities. I'm keeping her over there and deliberately come on in, Fran Hennessy.
Well, that was a huge build-up, wasn't it?
Yeah, blooming hell, Gareth.
Bloomin' hell, Gareth.
I know I'm going to get for my hype, man.
Listen, you have to deliver when you're getting a build-up like that. But Fran, there's been a lot of talk about you, and you have delivered. You know, that debut that had at the York Hall, that, you know, we thought, how is she going to handle it? This young girl who's coming. I spotted you ages ago out in, where was we? Sweden, wasn't we?
Sweden,
When
yeah.
you was boxing, I said, wow, this kid can fight. And then I find out you're mixed daughter. But I go, the first fight at the York Hall, I'm going, how's she going to handle this? The pressure, the big hype.
Yeah.
Boy, you dealt with it, man, and you've gone from strength to strength since then. You're loving this moment, aren't you?
Oh, definitely. Pressure makes diamonds, and I shine under pressure. My last performance I wasn't too happy with, but honestly, it's given me that fire in my belly for this next one. I've been in the gym, and it's the best I've ever felt, and I'm so excited for this fight. I'm so
You're a
excited.
very aggressive, very come-forward fighter. You've got all the moves, all the skills. What is it, 4-0 now?
3-0.
3-0.
Soon to be 4-0.
Soon to be 4-0. There are women fighting for world titles now at 9-10 fights.
Yeah.
So about a year from now, a bit over a year from now, can we expect you to be fighting for a world title in what? Flyweight, bantamweight, what division?
At the minute I'm at bantamweight, but I think I can go through the weights, to be honest. So we'll see how it goes at bantam, and then we'll go from there. But yeah, at the minute I'm at bantam, and my goal, and I believe I'll do it, is to become the youngest ever undisputed world champion. So
How
that's
old are you now?
19.
Wow.
The youngest is 23. So
You're the age of my grandchildren.
Listen, Fran, I want to ask you about the ring walk. Like I said, I mentioned the ring walk that you had at York Hall, the debut, and it was brilliant. You was dancing, you looked relaxed. We're at Selhurst Park now. I mean, this is huge, and it's somewhere that's close to your heart as well. That ring walk is going to be a long one as well. What have you got in line for us? Is it going to be something spectacular? I mean, can you give us a little teaser of what it's going to be?
I'm not going to spoil it, but my she's a very good dancer, and she's given me a few tips. So this one isn't a fluke one. It's been rehearsed, and it's going to be a good one, trust me.
Can you just tell us, when was that moment in your life where, obviously, you know, I've known you since a small child, you and your brother Michael, and your sister as well, has always been around the fight world. Your father promoted, we'll get him on in a minute, but he promoted Tyson Fury, Darren Barker, Carl Froch. I mean, a pantheon of greats in British boxing, not to mention boxers from abroad as well. At what point in your teenage years did you suddenly think, do you know what, this is actually for me?
Do you know what? I've been in and around boxing since I can remember, just sparring my brother in the hall, in the kitchen. He put off a clip the other day. I was in the kitchen sparring.
Who won that, by the way?
Let's bring him in. Let's bring him in.
Oh,
Yes, Michael.
Come on, Mike.
Right.
Be honest.
Now, your sister, go on, tell the story.
Be honest, Mike. Who won the kitchen spars? Be honest, come on.
It was a close fight. It was a close spar. I probably edged it to myself, but she gave it a good old go.
She reckons she kicked your ass, by the way. She reckons she kicked your ass. She's saying off record.
Do you not remember that body shot I dropped you with?
I'm not going to argue with her now because she's got a lot better since then. So.
This is Michael Hennessy, the son of Mick Hennessy, the brother of Fran Hennessy. I mean, how old were you when you were having these spars in the kitchen then?
So I was 17. I was doing boxing at quite a high level as an amateur. Fran was just getting into it. So
Like 13?
12 maybe.
You were beating up your 12-year-old sister, or was she trying it on with you?
I was trying to beat up my 12-year-old sister. But,
With no success?
No success. No, in all seriousness, she didn't really have any experience at the time. And I would just get the gloves on her and get her to throw at me. I'd practice my defence and stuff. So, yeah.
So you're the reason?
Do you know what? There is a history though of siblings when they spar with each other growing up. Male, female, doesn't really matter what it is, but there is a history of that, and it genuinely is the younger one that gets inspired and goes, you know what, I want to do that, and it sort of motivates and drives them more. It done it with me and my brother as well. Do you know what I mean? Where he used to kick the living daylights out of me in the front room all the time, and like, I used to just want to get one back. Do you know what I mean? And I get a sense of that with you two as well.
Definitely. Look, no, Michael's, since I can remember, been taking me on the pads in the hallway sneakily behind my mum and dad's back, getting on his knees, sparring me. So I would say Michael was probably the influence at the time, but yeah.
I'll be honest, like from a young age, she's always wanted to box, and we'd be sparring in the kitchen, the hallway, wherever it was. And I won't lie, like obviously I was a fair bit older. I was hitting her probably harder than I should have been, but like to keep her off, I had to keep her off because she's just such a handful. Even without any like experience, she was just a natural talent, a natural fighter. So she's got it, you know.
Just on you very quickly, we've spoken to your sister about her boxing on June the 15th. You were fantastic last time out. You didn't win, but you won a legion of fans. Are you getting on the 15th card as well?
No, absolutely not.
Not yet?
No, I'm enjoying a nice break from boxing.
Yeah, what are you doing then?
I'm ticking over with training, and I'm doing a bit of coaching as well at the moment, so I'm just enjoying
Mike,
that.
tell him to stop being so nosy. I don't want to start him off.
It's my job to be nosy, Spencer. Right, listen, the Hennessy's, we love you very much. We'll get your dad in a minute. Best of luck on the 15th. Let's
Best
get you
of
back
luck, Fran.
soon.
All right.
Cheers, Michael.
Oh, Fran,
Thank
quickly
you.
before you go, are you going to steal the show?
Of course I'm going to steal the show. It's a
Show
hard
stealer.
one to steal, but I believe I'm going to steal this one, trust me.
Well, we've
There
got
you
her
go.
coach
Best of luck.
now,
Best of luck.
Bradley Skeet, joining us,
Best of
Fran
luck, mate.
Hennessy's coach. You're Michael's as well. Are you Michael's coach as well? Yeah. You're also Sky Nicholson's coach, and I did enjoy your victory in, where was it, Las Vegas? Yeah, I saw you out in Vegas. You're looking very tanned and beautiful. We know you as a boxer yourself, of course. Great stalwart of British boxing. Talk to us first of all about the Sky Nicholson result. She didn't throw a lot of punches, but she didn't let her opponent, Sarah Mahfoud, throw many punches either. She dominated the bout. Were you pleased with it?
Yeah, very pleased. There's not many people who can go into a world title fight and not get out first gear.
And not get hit?
And exactly.
For 10 rounds?
Sky won every round. I don't know what that judge was thinking of giving him a food round 5. Sky dominated the fight, won every round, didn't get touched, and come away with a world title in first gear. She's got so much more to show, so much more to give, and this is just the start.
You want her to fight Amanda Serrano. It's a massive fight, of course. I've got my reservations at the moment. I think Amanda Serrano is arguably, technically, the pound-for-pound #1 in women's boxing. She's got that Katie Taylor fight in August, late July. Yeah. Is that a fight you're targeting
July
next?
20th.
Thank you, Spence. July 20th on the undercard.
Mike Tyson
and Jake Paul. Why are you targeting Amanda Serrano when Sky is so inexperienced?
No, she's not targeting no one. She's there. She's ranked #1. She was ranked #1 with the WBC. She got herself into that position. Amanda Serrano had the WBC belt. She chose to vacate the belt. Sky's only doing what she's doing. She's going.
So
through
you're keen for that fight soon?
That fight can happen. Yeah, why not? That's like I said, it's a massive fight. Serrano's got the other belts. Sky wants to be undisputed. Do you know what I mean? She wants to get the belts, and she's getting the win. She's dominating. Serrano had a good fight with Mahfoud. Sky dominated her in first gear. Do you know what I mean? That fight can happen.
How do you see that fight going, Amanda Serrano and Sky Nicholson?
Well,
Just give me a quick opinion.
Listen, I tell you why I think that Sky's improved so much is because she's got great ring craft. She controls the space really well. Amanda Serrano is one of those girls that comes forward, she's very flat-footed, comes forward a high work rate, but she walks forward in straight lines. There's someone like Sky Nicholson who has that ring craft and controls the space so well, and that's how you win fights, because you wear your opponent out by just being out of distance, and that's what she does so well. So that is a brilliant fight. And is it too soon for Sky Nicholson? I'll say definitely not, because these girls, there's not the same depth of talent at that sort of level, but she's improved massively, Sky Nicholson, that is for sure.
I spoke to Bradley off air. Listen, I'd love to see the fight, but I was just saying to you off air, I think Sky either picks her off with Serrano coming in, or Serrano will have her swarming moments. It's a great fight. Let's move on to Fran Hennessy on June the 15th. How talented is this young woman? Because from what I see, from what Spencer sees, she's got it in her blood. She's got boxing in her blood from the Hennessy family, but she's got some craft, aggressive. Do you know who she reminds me of in skill set? Who she could be like? A female Lomachenko. How about that?
Gareth, have you recognised what is going on here? Have you recognised the pattern like Sky Nicholson, Fran Hennessy? What they do is they control the space of the ring, and that's whoever controls that space wins fights, because it's the distance, the judgment of distance, how you can just step 1 foot out and then come straight back. So your opponent's thinking, wow, is their arm so long or whatever, but you're just controlling the space, and that's what I think that you do a great job with, Brad. Like, his boxing IQ, he's technically brilliant, and I think he's implementing that style into the girls, and that's what we're seeing.
How good is Fran?
She's so good. I said it, remember, from her debut, before she even had her debut, I told everyone who'd listen, she's a superstar, and she's showing everyone, and with the right fights, the right time, she's learning all the time, she's in the gym, she trains so hard, she's there, she's good, she's a superstar.
Brilliant, thank you so much. Great to see you. We're going to drag Ben Shalom in.
Nice one, mate.
Now
Richard's here.
Richard's here. Sorry.
Richard.
Sorry, Ben. Sorry, Ben. The fighters first in this show.
Absolutely.
How are you?
How you doing?
Yeah, midnight train.
How are you,
I
my man?
wanted a bit more heat up there today. I wanted a slapping competition, but apparently they tell me, Ben Shalom and crew, that Selhurst Park's selling out anyway, so we don't need the slapping up there.
Yeah, look, you've seen the fans have seen the first fight. We don't have to play with any gimmicks and do any Oscar award acting. We don't need to do that. The fight there's certain fights that just sell itself, and you can see there's real needle there.
More from him than you, actually.
That's interesting.
I see more needle. Every time you speak, I see him huffing and puffing. He doesn't want to be in the same room as you. You're quite relaxed. And I see you as the favourite, by the way.
Yeah, you know what? To be honest, I feel the same way. But I'm a really relaxed and reserved person. I don't really get emotional that quickly. It takes a lot for me to get.
I reckon I could make you emotional right now.
Really?
Yeah, I could start singing some love songs.
This is going to turn into a different podcast. Listen, I recognise why he's so uptight and whatnot, because you got that victory back in 2019. It was a tough fight, went down to the wire. It was an absolutely brilliant barnstormer in many ways. He's always wanted that. He's always wanted that return. He now gets it, but yet he's holding the belts. But he'll recognise, hold a minute, like it's all about legacy. And when you fight another guy from your country, you're always remembered for those fights. So he has to overturn that. That's why the pressure's on him, even though he's the champion. Richard Riakporhe won the last fight in 2019.
Yeah, he's got a lot of pressure on him. He's a champion, and as a champion, things are demanded of you every single day. You have to defend your title. So I remember we was doing an interview with the Glover off yesterday.
How was it?
It's entertaining.
Is it going to be enjoyable to watch?
Yes, 100%.
What was a big moment from it?
Too many.
Did you shake hands?
Too many. Yeah, well.
Did you shake hands?
Something like that. But I think it's one of those type of fights where you want to be the hunter in a fight, but at the same time you have to defend your title. Listen to the words I'm using. You have to defend your title and remain a champion. The real hunter is me. And you're going to see that in the night. I'm coming to snatch the title away from him.
Listen, Rich, you've had 7 fights since that fight. Seven fights, 7 victories. He's had 10 fights, 10 victories. He's picked up the world title. But do you feel now that you're a better fighter than you was back then, as in mentally? Because physically, you've always been there. You've always had that. But you seem to have changed your mindset a lot as a fighter, and you can see that comes out in your performances.
Yeah, I think there was a stage where I was just pretty much just interested in the glitz and the glamour. You know, I kind of just found myself in that little tornado, the attention, the likes, the social media engagement and stuff. And then one day I kind of just sat back and I said, you know what? I looked at some of the greats, the all-time greats. I looked at Sugar Ray Leonard. I looked at Muhammad Ali. I looked at the likes of Mike Tyson, Julian Jackson, you know, Gerald McLennan, Nigel Benn, Chris Eubank, David Haye, you know, Enzo.
Picked out a group of punchers there.
Because you know,
well, he's won himself.
I can only watch you what I can what resonates with me, and yeah, they all had their gift as well. So I said to myself, you know what? Why can't I be one of the greats? What do I need to do to become one of the greats? I don't want to just come here, make some good money and leave. I want to have a long-lasting legacy. And it's not just me being in the ring, but it's also to do with outside of boxing, things that trials and tribulations I've had to overcome, and people that I inspire all around the world.
In the last 6 or 7 years that we've both known you, and I've known you as well, I've noticed what's grown in you, and I think Hope Spencer agrees with me on this, is patience in the ring and patience outside it.
Yeah,
Is that fair?
Yes, I can be patient when it comes to certain things, and for sure, in those regards, yeah, I'm definitely, I can be a very patient man. And I've seen a lot of impatient people. I'll wait, and once I get my opportunity, I'll grab it with both hands.
Do you know,
Are those knuckles itchy though? Do those knuckles itch?
do you know,
Do they itch or not?
Look, I've got a rash.
Rich, you know one thing that I've recognised in you is, you know, I've seen you developing right from the beginning of your career, but I've always recognised that you've had the talent and you know, you've always had all the armoury in the locker. But what I've recognised over the last couple of years is that self-belief has changed, like where you're now believing in yourself, the confidence has grown, and as a fighter, that is so important. I go, he's always had it, but now, just here, it seems to be the whole package now, and I think that you only get that confidence through the development of your career, and I think that that's what I've recognised in you, that self-belief is different now.
Yeah, it's definitely different, and it came with just having fights, learning on the job. People speaking to me and telling me about my talent. You know, I remember Dillian Whyte. You know, I'm going into fights with Dillian Whyte, and Dillian Whyte's telling me, listen, don't play about with this guy, knock him out.
Big up, Dill.
Big up Dill. And he's like, look, knock him out. And I didn't really understand why he would say these things to me. It's because he knows boxing, and he knows that I actually have the tools to clean out these guys, all of the guys in my division. You know, if I put my mind to it, get it right.
We've got to get your opponents in a minute. Enjoy. You're at Selhurst Park on Monday night, aren't you, for the Man United game?
A big thanks to all the Selhurst fans, all the Crystal Palace fans, Steve Parish, everybody. You know, we're going to bring that South London energy. I heard about the ticket sales going crazy. Everybody's coming out to support, and I promise you, I'm bringing that title back.
You're bringing a midnight train to Selhurst Park, and you are there Monday night or not?
Yes, I am.
For the Man United game?
I am there.
May the 6th.
I am
Enjoy.
there. May the 6th.
Lovely to see you. Cheers.
Good luck, mate.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, well done, Rich. Well done,
Well,
man.
from one cruiserweight to the world champion cruiserweight joining us, that's Chris Billam-Smith, looking like he's ready to go to work in the city right now. We're in Liverpool Street. You do look very, very elegant, I must say, world champion.
Thank you very much. Pauls and Curtis to thank for that. It's
Who?
Pauls and Curtis.
Pauls and Curtis,
Pauls
those
and
are
Curtis.
Taylor, yeah?
Yeah, they're great. You know, very.
They've done a brilliant job.
Very sharp. Very
Very
sharp.
Oh! Do you know, he was just doing that one. I thought you guys, even though you are so competitive with each other, there's a massive rivalry. If we get an extraordinary fight, we might even get a trilogy. And sometimes the trilogy is what makes it. Billam-Smith and Riakporhe could be associated.
Listen, if the first one's
forever
anything
like
to
Ali
go
and
by,
Frazier.
you would have that trilogy.
Well, it was
of course.
so close, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it's still disputed. There are knockdowns disputed. There's controversy. You're both gentleman fighters. You'll particularly call yourself the gentleman. I was expecting even a bit more vim and vigour between both of you today.
Yeah, it was good fun. Look, I don't really get into much with my opponents, but when you trip yourself up so much, you need someone to catch you, so and call you up on it. So yeah.
I mean, the last fight was 2019. It went down to the wire, close fight. Has that always been an itch of yours to get that return, to get that? And I mean, you know, you've even given away home advantage as well. So shows how much you, as the champion, wanted to right the wrong of the last contest.
Yeah, obviously any fighter wants to avenge a loss. Any sportsman wants to avenge any sort of loss. But it would never have defined me, and I always said that, especially as I've gone on to win world title and have a defence, and sort of had those 4 Bournemouth fights, which were epic. But I'm buzzing that, you know, he's mandatory challenger, and I get a chance to right the wrong.
And amazingly, 5 years on, you've both really developed. You've shown what minerals you've got. You've won the world title. He's become more patient as a fighter. Weirdly, with the bookies, he's a marginal favourite. How do you feel about that?
I'm always that's the way it works in these a lot of domestic fights. Lawrence fight, I was a 3-1 underdog.
Yeah.
You know, a few mates won some money on me that day. So
I bet your mates are loving you right now, aren't they?
I got a free meal out of it on the stag do the week after, so I'll take that. But yeah, no, it doesn't matter. The only opinions that matter to me are my own, my teams. You know, probably about 6 people that opinions matter to me. Bookies, absolutely not.
And the great thing is, you've both got fantastic stories. Fatherhood. You've got fatherhood recently, an amazing, beautiful relationship with your wife and indeed your mother that we've learnt about. I think those are probably people, maybe outside those 6 or within those 6, the opinions that really do matter.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to boxing, I'm not going to listen to my mum on any advice, but she won't mind me saying that. But when it comes to the person I am and everything, I just want to be proud of my dad and my mum and dad, make them proud as the person I am, and that's really important to me.
How easy was it to agree on Selhurst Park for you to do that?
Yeah, it was. To be honest, I prefer it. I prefer it than going back to the stadium. I don't.
Why?
It was so special that night, and like I don't know. It gives
It's
me more
hard to recapture that, isn't it?
Yeah, and like even beating Richard there isn't going to be the same, and also it gives me more motivation being away from home. It gives me just it's like a siege mentality, you know, that going into the backyard.
Do you know what? You're one of those rare breed, though, Chris, aren't you? That like you love it, like you love having a tough fight. You love it when it's tough, and you like sort of like you
Minerals.
just come. Yeah, you've got that way. You've got that character to be able to go to a dark place and pull yourself through. Even against Masternak last time out, you look at it and you go, you've got an amazing ability, a champion's mindset to be able to turn things around when they're not going the right way. Where some people get discouraged by that. You know, they lose the belief in themselves, but you never do. Like, and that is an amazing quality you've got.
Did you know that about yourself, or are you finding it out fight by fight?
I think I've always known it to an extent, but as the career goes on, you come up against bigger challenges and you overcome them, and and then the more adversity you overcome, the more you get strength in your mind and belief in it. Obviously, you have to have the mindset to do that in the first place, and but yeah, I feel like my mind. This game's more mine than anything. I think all top level sports is, and my mind's, untouchable.
And also, you've had stadium fights. He hasn't. You've got the experience over it. I think maybe it takes the pressure off as well, because we do want to see you fill out the O2. We do want to see you back. I mean, this is almost bigger than the O2. I mean, I think it's 8,000 or 10,000 people more, and it'll be outside. It's always special. I mean, that night in Bournemouth, in the stadium, I remember driving down, open top, arms out, guns out.
I've got a bad vision. You shouldn't have said that. You shouldn't have said that.
I put a shirt on by the time we came on air. But what a night. What a night. And you upended Okoli and you sent him up to the division above.
Yeah, no, it was a phenomenal night for me, and this is just another stadium fight that I get to write about in a book one day, or tell my son one day about my career. So I'm very lucky, as a football fan, a second football stadium.
Would you, tough as it is, Your son is, what is he, 1.5 now? Or
He'll be 2 next month.
2 next month.
Stop it! I remember.
How
it.
would
I
you
remember when it's born.
accept
It's crazy.
him getting into boxing at 9, 10 and wanting to be a pro boxer? Would that hurt you? Would you rather him be a brain surgeon or a pilot or?
The main thing is I want him to be happy, as long as he's happy in whatever he does. But I don't. Yeah, I mean, look, if he really wants to box, I'm not going to stop him. But hopefully he can do something else. Hopefully he can do something else.
Brilliant, Chris. Thank
Yeah.
you so much, and thank you for bringing
Well
your
done,
belt
Chris.
in. It
Good luck,
looks
mate. Well done.
absolutely
Fantastic.
phenomenal. What a pair of cool cat characters we've got in the main event at Selhurst Park on June the 15th. Isaac Chamberlain, we can't keep him out of the picture. Come here, Isaac. He's on the show, he's in the studio. You know, come around this side. He's terrible. He's not good in these situations.
How are you, my man?
You see?
Good? Yeah, good, mate.
I love
I'm good,
talking
bro.
to the back
Good,
of
mate.
Isaac Chamberlain's head. He's awkward, he's difficult, and he's going to be awkward and difficult
You're feeling
for
good shape,
Michael
by the way.
Sislak
Wow, come on, man.
June the 15th. While you talk amongst yourselves and I introduce you, welcome Isaac Chamberlain.
Thank you, man. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here, man. Oh, you're not going to be holding it?
No, you're not holding it. That's my job. We spoke to you on Saturday night in the studio. It's fantastic to have you in at talkSPORT. You're a friend of the show. You've been coming in for 6-7 years now. Does it feel big, this event?
Yeah, massive, man. Massive, you know. Especially on June the 15th when Selhurst Park is filled up. It's going to be a spectacle. And I just can't wait to be there and perform in front of my South London people, man.
There's a big call out you can make against these two guys. I know you and Richard go back in the day and you're friends, but you get a dramatic win on June the 15th against Michael Sislak. There's 2 guys fighting after you. There's a call out there surely for the WBO crown.
Yeah, but right now my focus is on this European. You don't want to look too fast, you know. Don't want to look too past. I need to focus on what is in front of me right now, you know. That's why I'm training the way I'm training. Sislak is not no pushover. He's very, very strong. He's a strong, seasoned Polish veteran.
12 rounds against Akoli.
Yeah, like 12 rounds against Makabu. Like he's solid, man. He's solid. And he's been on a very, very good run. So I have to be on point.
Listen, it's a huge step up from British title level going into European title level. That gives you that world ranking, and like you say, then the world really is your oyster going into that. But like you say, Sislak is one of those guys that is tough and will bring it. It's a big opportunity for you. Just explain to our people why you decided to give that British title up and go for the European, and what roadmap you're taking on that journey.
I want to know. I want my career to go towards world championship. Like fighting Vidal or fighting Sheb, is that going to make me get any closer to like a world championship? Like, let's be honest, if I wasn't looking at the money, would I even look at Vidal or Sheb's direction?
Yeah.
You know, so, you know.
This is all about doing it on your terms, your journey,
It's
and
my
like you say,
journey.
European gives you that world ranking, and then you're eyeing world title honours
and
after that.
Sislak is not even European level. Sislak is world championship level. He's top 4 in all the governing bodies. So when I beat him and I get that scalp, I'm world level, you know, so that's exactly what I'm aiming for.
Sure. I mean, your journey really has been an incredible one, isn't it? You go back to the 02, the Lawrence Akoli loss, you know, way back when, and you see how you've developed as a fighter, not just physically, but mentally as well. You should be proud of yourself, Isaac. That's
You were
been
ready
fantastic.
for a major venue that night, at that stage.
That's right.
He was 10-0, you were 8-0, something like that?
Yeah.
You weren't ready, were you? Nerves played a part.
But it's all about the development, isn't it? And I think that made you that sort of like made you recognise what that was and where it is and how you got to be mentally and whatnot. And you've come on from strength to strength since then.
Oh, man, I have to, man. I think life is all about improving yourself and leveling up at all angles, you know. And I think that's the most important thing. So no matter what, the young fighters out there, man, and everyone that's out there that's not even boxing, just always try and keep leveling up in whatever you're doing.
Are you the type of guy actually that feeds off the fact, because after that night a lot of people went, no, can't do it, can't hit that level, even though it was at the beginning of your career, which is, when you look back at it, is quite exciting. But are you the type of guy that then feeds off that and says, you know what, that's, you know, that sort of pushes you on even more? 'Cause I was one of those characters that when people doubted me, it made me better and stronger. But how are you on that? You know, what was you thinking at that point? Because you come back and reinvented yourself.
I'm not gonna lie, depression punched me in the back of the head.
Yeah.
And I was just like, damn, what am I gonna do now? So you have to dig yourself out of that dark hole, especially with all the stuff that happened behind the scenes and my uncle and all of these things. So you have to dig yourself out of that dark hole and keep pushing, because when you don't have a plan B. Plan A is all you have. You're going to work at that no matter what. No matter how you feel, if you're tired, if you're saying, forget this, I can't do it, you have to still keep working. And I gave myself no chance of, like, how do I word this? I gave myself no plan B. I said, this is all I have to do.
Yeah.
You know, and
Showed huge character, by the way.
Oh, mate. That's all you had to. That's all I had to show. You know.
Yeah.
Isaac, stay well for June the 15th. We can't wait to see you in action against Michael Cislak for the European Cruiserweight crown. Go well, my brother. Thank you very much.
Best of luck, mate. Well done.
Right,
well done,
go
man.
that way,
Wicked.
not in front of us this time. Right, I'm in charge and I'm holding the microphone. We're just waiting for the arrival of Mick Hennessy, who's about to come. He's not going to come for us today. We've got our team, our production team over here. They're shaking their heads. I reckon that if I went over and got him, they're still shaking their heads. We'll get Mick Hennessy a bit later on an individual interview. It's going to be a great card on June the 15th.
Yeah, it really
They're
is.
reporting that Selhurst Park is selling out. It's going to be an amazing atmosphere. If the weather's good, it'll be brilliant. First boxing there for 70 years.
Huge. Listen,
big British clash for the world title.
Listen, day before England play in the Euros, so there's going to be a real buzz around sport as well, and it's going to be an absolutely huge event. You know, we love a stadium fight. You know, Richard Riakporhe gets huge backing from Selhurst Park. We know what Billam-Smith's backing's like anyway. They will travel in their drones. They will come up
from Brixton.
Absolutely.
So,
I mean, it's going to be absolutely fantastic night. And one thing we can guarantee is fireworks in that fight, because stylistically they gel so well together.
Well, in recent times, obviously with talkSPORT, we were at Fraser Clark against Fabio Wardley, and look how that event delivered. Let's hope this one delivers as much. Billam-Smith defending the WBO Cruiserweight crown against Richard Riakporhe. You've been watching the Fight Week podcast with myself, Gareth and Davies, and him, Spencer the Omen Oliver. We will see you next time.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.